In India, we talk a lot about dynasty politics. So that's what's happening in Sri Lanka as well?
Thank you, Sonia. So I think it was loud and clear by the people because, as you know, last 1.5 years, people have been frustrated with the administration of President Sri Lanka and Mr. Singh because they promised so many things but nothing was developed and our economy was collapsing and the national security was weakened day by day. And as a result, the East attacks in last April did serious damage to the life, not only the lives of the people in this country but also the economy and the stability of the country. So people needed strong leadership and at the same time they wanted the leader who can deliver what they promised. And President Rajapaksa during his tenure as the fifth president of Sri Lanka, he has not only spoken loud and clear, but he has delivered what he has promised. So people expected, people voted for a strong leadership. And I think dynastical politics is not the key thing here.
Right.
It is the delivering the promises that we kept.
So it's not about dynasty, it's about delivery of promises. And of course, people voted overwhelmingly for the strong leadership. Many said a backlash also because of the poor handling of the previous government of the Easter Sunday massacre there. But tell me, Mr. Rajapaksa, you of course are an MP as well. And you've been in a kind of Twitter spat with Tamil Nadu politicians who have questioned, who have said they've been shocked and disappointed by this verdict. And they feel that the actions during the Sri Lankan civil war against Sri Lankan Tamils is something that goes against your father and uncle, your uncle as president. You said they shouldn't shed crocodile tears.
Well, Sonia, I mean, see, the Tamil Nadu, certain politicians, all politicians, but certain politicians they use the Sri Lankan issue for their own personal gain. But now, what have they done to Sri Lankan Tamil? As you know, there are many serious issues when regarding the fishing issue. But what have these politicians have done and what have they done to uplift the livelihood of Sri Lankan Tamils? So they have done nothing, but they keep on speaking, about the Sri Lankan Tamils for their own personal political gain. But, we have to understand one thing, Sri Lanka went through a went through a brutal war for last 30 years. We were fighting against LTT. Unfortunately, this fight between the Sri Lankans and the LTT was portrayed by the LTT as a fight against Sinhalese and Tamils, which was totally wrong. But we do understand we have a lot more to be done in North as in to win the people's heart and mind. We have done a lot of infrastructure development. We have created employment.
That's an interesting point. You're saying it was portrayed as a fight against Sri Lankan Tamils when your fight was against the LTTE. Interestingly, and of course, the larger question India has had, and Prime Minister Modi was one of the first to tweet welcoming your uncle Gotabaya Rajapaksa's election verdict. And we had the foreign minister arrive there tomorrow. And the first visit that the President Rajapaksa will make will be to India. Do you feel that this will correct the perception that perhaps the Rajapaksas are pro-China as opposed to being neutral with India and the relationship with India?
Well, see, at one point, the relationship between Sri Lanka and my father's administration, President Rajapaksa administration, and India and China was misinterpreted and miscommunicated to the leaders at that time. So I think Prime Minister Modi has a more progressive approach and very open-minded approach towards his foreign policy, and he gives priority for the region, and also he has given shown very much interest in establishing foreign relations with the regional countries and of course across the borders. So which we believe, and a stable government in Sri Lanka is important for India as well. And we believe that Mr. Gotabaya Rajapaksa's win in the last election, and also once we go to a parliament election by soon as possible, so that will bring a stable government in Sri Lanka. So which is vital and very important for the stability in India and also for the regional politics. So I think Prime Minister Modi understands this very clearly.
Right. And of course, he's not dependent on support from the Tamil Nadu political parties either. So perhaps that gives him more freedom as well. Thank you so much, Mr. Rajapaksa.